Hey everyone, Scott Hansen here from NFL Red Zone. I hope you're checking out 1 hour of 5 Yard Rush, one of the best podcasts on NFL football in the UK.
Nation. It is a wonderful Friday. I'm going to be back later with a live stream to talk about other bits and pieces. There'll be no stocks, so I will be getting somebody on to come and talk with me. Hopefully, if not, it'll be another episode of my own. Apologies for sort of some of the technical difficulties I've been having lately, just with regards to not doing this on a laptop. I'm doing this on my phone at the moment. Just all sorts of things and quirky things with technology. So I'm in the process of sorting out a new one. But never fear, this one's a short pod. It's really to talk about the 2025 Fantasy Football Playbook. It is coming live. We have dropped it to Amazon. It will go live at some point over the weekend. So you'll be able to buy your copy. You can buy it on Kindle now, but you will be able to buy it. The paper copy ASAP at some point over the weekend. We'll let socials know that it's live. It'll be available internationally. You'll be able to buy it quite easily. I'm going to say a couple of things. First of all, that if unless you're really wedded to Kindle, you can actually buy the paper copy or the PDF copy on our Patreon. That will go live shortly. You don't have to be a member of Patreon to have access to the PDF, but you buy it for a much lower cost. I think it's like 25% cheaper if you buy it directly through there, and we get most of that money. So a preferable avenue for us would be if you were to buy it directly from the Patreon. It's cheaper for you, and we make more money out of it that way. So that's the first kind of win-win to that. So hopefully you'll be able to do that through Patreon, and we'll share the link on socials, so you'll be able to do that. But second of all, yeah, if you want the paper copy, feel free to buy that. I know a lot of people like paper copies to write notes on, and that's great. And we would love you to buy that and enjoy it. So yeah, they're kind of the best ways of purchasing. You can also join our Patreon exclusively and be part of our chats and all the things and all the content that we do there as well. So there's a number of ways in which you can get involved and join in what we do. Let's talk about the book itself. It's quite a detailed book. It's the first one in 3 years, believe it or not. The last couple of years have been tough. One with illness and well documented. I'm not going to rehash that. If you're new to the channel listening to this, you'll be able to find out what's been going on there quite quickly, or reach out to me and I'll tell you. But so that, and then last year, just trying to catch up with all of that. It just didn't happen. But we've put it together this year, perhaps a few days later than we expected. We just had a few issues with formatting in Kindle and all sorts of things. But we're there. We're a bit out of practice and not doing this every year. So we were aiming for June 1st, but here we are. It's fine. Only a week late. It's all good. Let's talk a little bit about what is in the book. There's a few kind of essay style pieces to start. And I think it's really important to think about what's changed in fantasy football from when we first started these books. Now, some of the older content is still available and it's still relevant because it talks about strategy, but actually what's moved on. So the first sort of essay in it is an increase in the injuries in fantasy football, and a document sort of this rise in trending of injuries, that there's actually more and more injuries, and that's actually dictating a little bit about the way usage and players are played. So that is there in the book. It's very informative, I think. It's very, very useful, and it's a piece that I think is probably underspoken. But it's there to say it's not just luck, but there is an element of it. So it's actually how do you prepare and get around that. So that piece of injuries is really sort of crucial. It breaks down by position. It's I think it's a really good piece, but I'll let others kind of decide on that. Next, I go through a over decades long worth of research onto the rise and decline of elite performance of running backs, and how running backs were kind of this staple year to get as many as you could, as often as you could, because there weren't many of them. It was kind of a not affordability, but it was kind of a scarcity point, and actually where that's probably been a bit of a hindrance in strategy over the last few years, but is it on the rise again? So it's a good essay piece. There's lots of graphs. If you love data and analytics, you'll love it. I think it's a really, again, informative piece. It's interesting. It should definitely give you some context. Then I talk about some positive and negative touchdown candidates, players who perhaps overperformed in efficiency or underperformed in efficiency. The good news about this piece, and I'll sort of get onto it in the end, is in the appendix, you actually see the data of all these players. It's a particularly good piece. It's based on my model that I've created on touchdown progression. Next is value-based drafting. It's a piece we do in every book and what's updated for 2025. It has been rewritten. So it is different from the other ones, but a lot of the same themes, but with some updates in there. So worth doing. Then was sparked by some of the Patreons is a stats that matter, where to find them. A lot of people want to actually do their own research rather than be told what to do. And I feel like that's what we do best on this channel, is sort of teach people how to fish rather than just telling them what players to kind of pick. So there's a whole chapter on that with links as QR codes, so you can actually go ahead and find everything you kind of need. So again, this is where if you've got the physical copy, you can open a QR code. If you're in one of the PDFs, you'll probably need a second device or camera to make that work, but you can make it work quite easily. Then a quick introduction to Dynasty Fantasy Football. I don't claim to be a fantasy dynasty expert. There's great channels like the Fantasy Sanctuary which do amazing work on that kind of thing, and that's great. And there's lots of great dynasty resources, right? So I'm not trying to go into a new space, but for those, I always think that having guys like this are people that are thinking about getting into dynasty football and they're looking just for a bit of guidance and how to set up and what's different. It's there for those people. Do the same with IDP. For those who've never played IDP, I don't know a lot, a bit scared. Why I think it's the ultimate challenge in fantasy football, how you can get started, and where you should play, what's changed over the years of IDP. So I recommend that one. Auction leagues. Auction leagues are fun. Introduction as to what they are, why they work, etc. It's great. And then a really good piece on home leagues, how to make them more exciting. Last year had a couple of great commissioners on talking about that. So basically condensed all that great information that they dropped and put that into a chapter in the book. It's good. And then lastly, from me, is the points against streaming metric. It's a metric I've created 5 or 6 years ago, using multiple years of streaming data. And again, that access will be there. You'll see sort of the relevance of streaming, etc. So it's a really good piece of information there, and some action plans from all the positions when you're looking at streaming. So kind of think of PAS as a wins above replacement kind of metric, but done slightly differently. So enjoy that. And then Stocks has gone through and he's highlighted 47 rookies and done 47 really in-depth detailed rookie profiles where you can get the absolute best of all your new dynasty assets. So what they are, what you think they'll be, amazingly written and deep process. So make sure you give an opportunity to read all of those, because they are phenomenal. And then and then the appendix. The appendix itself is a list of resources for QR code. It'll give you access to a file for you to go through and look at. That appendix is amazing. And that appendix is going to allow you to do quite a lot of access to tools, data, but then also it's going to give you access to it's going to give you access to something really incredible, which is my projections in a scoring sheet that you can actually then change all the scoring. So if you're in Scott Fish Bowl, if you're in JTT, if you're in all these tournaments, all those access is going to be there available to you to change the scoring based on my projections, which I'm going to update through the season and drop in there. So every sort of couple of weeks, I'm going to run an update as things change up until the season starts. So when the season starts, I'm going to lock those, and they are what they are. So that gives you access to a lot of data, a lot of ability to create your own custom cheat sheets based on my projections, ability to do lots of really cool things, and sort of guidance how to do that. So I think it's a brilliant book. I think it's a lot of resource for your money. I think it's a good value add. So I really hope that you get the value out of it. I'd love to hear any and all for feedback and impressions on it. So please do rate it, review it, all these sorts of things massively helps and can really do with that ASAP. So looking forward to hearing all your thoughts, and I'm looking forward to catching up with you and hearing your thoughts over the coming weeks. But enjoy the book. Please go out and buy it. Please let me know you bought it. And I look forward to interacting with all of you. And I'm here to help you win your leagues in 2025 and beyond. So Until then, Rush Nation, until later on tonight, don't forget, as always, keep rushing.